In the vast and ancient city of yore, a child was born to Azor, a skilled craftsman who dedicated his life to carving idols from stone and wood. This child, named Ibrahim, peace be upon him, entered a world where idol worship was not just a belief but a deeply ingrained way of life. The people of yore, including his own family, bowed before lifeless statues, offering them food and seeking blessings from what their own hands had created. From an early age, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was different. He was not like the other children, who blindly followed the traditions of their ancestors. Instead, he questioned everything. He watched as his father carefully sculpted idols, giving them faces, expressions, and shapes, only to see people later prostrate before them in reverence. A thought began to form in his young mind. How can these lifeless statues, made by human hands, have power over human fate? At night, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, lay awake, staring at the sky. The stars twinkled brilliantly, the moon shone majestically, and the sun blazed in its glory. But each of them had a cycle, they rose and they set. If they disappeared, how could they be gods? His heart yearned for the truth. One day, as he sat by the river, lost in thought, he looked up and saw a bright star. Could this be my Lord? He wondered. But as dawn broke, the star faded, and he whispered to himself, "No, a true Lord does not disappear." Then he saw the moon, larger and brighter. This must be my Lord, he thought. But the moon, too, vanished with the coming of the sun. Then, seeing the sun's brilliance, he thought, this is surely the greatest of all. But when evening came, and the sun dipped below the horizon, his heart knew. If they all rise and fall, they cannot be my Lord. My Lord is the one who created them all. He alone is eternal. Thus, Allah guided him to the truth. But believing in one true God meant rejecting everything his people stood for. It meant defying his own father. It meant standing alone in a world that did not want to hear the truth. And so, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, prepared for the first test of his faith, challenging his own family. As Ibrahim, peace be upon him, grew older, his faith in the one true God became unshakable. He could no longer remain silent while his people continued their misguided worship of lifeless idols. His heart burned with a desire to show them the truth. He began speaking to his father, Azor, first, hoping that reason and love would convince him. "O my father, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, said one day, why do you worship that which can neither hear nor see, nor benefit you in any way? Indeed, I have received knowledge that has not reached you. So follow me, and I will guide you to the right path." Azor frowned, his face darkening with anger. "Do you reject my gods, O Ibrahim? If you do not stop, I will punish you. Leave me alone." Ibrahim, peace be upon him, felt deep sorrow, but his resolve did not waver. He turned to the people of the town and challenged them. "What do these idols mean to you? Why do you worship them?" They replied, "We found our forefathers doing the same." "Then your forefathers were in clear error," Ibrahim, peace be upon him, said firmly. "Can these idols speak or respond to your prayers? Can they protect you from harm?" The people grew restless. They had no answer to his questions, yet they were too stubborn to abandon their ways. Their blind devotion was stronger than their logic. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, realized that words alone would not open their hearts. He needed to show them the truth in a way they could not ignore. One day, when the townspeople left for a grand festival outside the city, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, saw his chance. He entered the grand temple, where countless idols stood in rows, adorned with decorations. With a determined heart, he took an axe and struck down all the idols except the largest one. He left the axe hanging on its neck and departed. When the people returned, they were horrified. "Who has done this to our gods?" they cried. Some of them remembered Ibrahim's, peace be upon him, words and accused him. "We heard a young man speaking against our gods. His name is Ibrahim." He was brought before the rulers and questioned. "Was it you who destroyed our gods, O Ibrahim?" With calm wisdom, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, pointed to the large idol. "Ask this great one. Perhaps he can speak." The people looked at one another, ashamed. They knew that their idols could not speak, move, or defend themselves. Yet, instead of accepting the truth, their pride consumed them. "You know well that they cannot speak," they shouted. "Then why do you worship them instead of Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth?" Ibrahim, peace be upon him, replied, "Will you not reason?" Their shame turned into fury. Rather than admit their mistake, they decided to silence Ibrahim, peace be upon him, in the most brutal way possible. The order was given: Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was to be burned alive as a lesson to all who dared challenge their gods. At that time, the king who ruled the land was a man full of pride and arrogance. His name was Namrood. He claimed to be a god and demanded that people worship him. When he heard of Ibrahim's, peace be upon him, actions and bold words, he was furious. Namrood summoned Ibrahim, peace be upon him, to his court and asked, "Who is this Lord you speak of?" Ibrahim, peace be upon him, replied, "My Lord is the one who gives life and causes death." Namrood said, "I can do that too," and he brought out 2 prisoners. He killed one and set the other free. "See? I have given life and taken it away." But Ibrahim, peace be upon him, calmly said, "My Lord causes the sun to rise from the east, so make it rise from the west." Namrood was silenced. He had no answer. Still, the king would not accept the truth. Instead, he supported the people's plan to punish Ibrahim, peace be upon him. A massive fire was prepared. It grew so large that even birds flying above would fall from the heat. The people could not get close enough to place Ibrahim, peace be upon him, inside, so they built a giant device to hurl him into the flames from a distance. As Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was placed upon the device, bound and calm, the angel Gabriel, appeared before him and asked, "Do you need anything?" With firm trust in Allah, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, replied, "Allah is sufficient for me, and he is the best disposer of affairs." He was then cast into the blazing fire. But as he entered, Allah commanded the flames, "O fire, be cool and safe for Ibrahim." Immediately, the fire obeyed the command of its creator. It lost its heat and harm. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, stood within it as if he were in a peaceful garden. The people watched in astonishment. The fire blazed, yet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was unharmed. When the fire burned out, he walked out, calm and safe. Though a miracle had occurred before their very eyes, most of the people still rejected the truth. Their arrogance and pride blinded them. But a few hearts were moved. A few began to believe. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, had fulfilled his mission in his homeland. But now, Allah guided him to leave and continue spreading the message elsewhere. He departed with his wife Sarah and his nephew Lut, peace be upon him. He traveled through different lands, teaching people to worship the one true God. He faced challenges but remained steadfast. Allah blessed him with children, first Ismail, peace be upon him, through Hajar, and later Ishaq, peace be upon him, through Sarah. Eventually, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was commanded by Allah to build the Kaaba in Mecca with his son Ismail, peace be upon him. They raised its foundations with prayers, dedicating it as the first house of worship for Allah alone. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, legacy would live on through generations. He became a model of obedience, patience, and trust in Allah, honored by all believers. Final lessons. 1. True faith in Allah can never be defeated. 2. Stand firm in truth, even if you stand alone. 3. Falsehood will always fail in front of divine guidance. 4. Trust in Allah brings peace in the harshest trials. 5. The legacy of a believer lasts forever. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, story continues to inspire all who seek the truth with a sincere heart.